Imagine this. You get up, clean up, head to work, and start doing the job you studied, got hired for, and earn okay money doing. Your coworkers are decent people. The office isn't a bad place. Your boss isn't a monster. Still, by lunchtime, a heavy feeling sneaks in like a part of you is slowly fading. Day after day, week after week, you stare at the clock more than your work. You daydream about quitting, about doing anything different. But you don't. You just keep going. Because this is what adults are supposed to do, right? But what if the problem isn't actually you? What if you're not messed up? What if you're not lazy or lacking drive? What if the real issue is that you're trapped in a system that doesn't care about people? We've been taught that working hard is honorable, that pushing through pain is just part of being grown up. But deep down, millions of people feel the same hidden truth. I hate my job, and I'm not even sure why. Peter Drucker once said people aren't lazy, they just have goals that don't excite them. And that's what today's work feels like, a machine that steals meaning and calls it productivity. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you spend 40 hours a week chasing goals that aren't even yours. You're giving up your time, your energy, your heart for something you don't believe in, can't change, and barely get. And here's the wild part, the system isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. Not to help you grow or be free, but to take your work, your obedience, your quiet. And the more tired you get, the more they say it's your fault, that you're not working hard enough, not thankful enough, not positive enough. But what if this quiet pain, this feeling like you were meant for more, isn't brokenness? What if it's a sign, a message from deep inside you that won't shut up? The part Jung called the self, the real you that can't live while you're pretending. Long before burnout was a thing, Jung said, living a fake life won't make you happy, it tears you apart. And that's where this story starts. So what's actually falling apart inside you? And why is it so hard to talk about? Carl Jung gave us words to describe this hidden crack. He believed each of us has a self, our full, true, untouched inner being. It's not the version shaped by pressure or rules. It's who you were before the world told you what to become. But to get by in the world, we can't show our full selves all the time. So we build something Jung called the persona, a mask we use to be liked and fit in. And at work today, that mask turns into your work uniform. You smile even when you're not okay. You nod even when you don't agree. You show a neat, filtered version of yourself, built for doing the job, not being real. Day after day, meeting after meeting, you're praised for playing the part, not for being yourself. You turn into a brand, not a person. And while others admire your professionalism, a part of you feels like it's choking. Jung warned that splitting your true self and your mask causes what he called ego fragmentation. On the outside, you look calm and capable, but inside, you're anxious, confused, and quietly breaking down. Because after wearing a mask too long, you start forgetting who's behind it. The real you gets buried under deadlines, office drama, and performance reviews. You don't just lose your soul, you start to wonder if it was ever really there. The scary part, this break doesn't shout. It whispers. It shows up as low-key annoyance. You can't explain why Sunday nights feel heavy, or why you suddenly envy someone living free. It shows up in the way you tense up before meetings, how you can't chill after work, how your smile feels fake most days. Jung once said, The scariest thing is fully accepting yourself. And these days, that's more than just a deep inner challenge. It's a money-based one too, because the system doesn't want the real you. It wants the mask. Predictable, obedient, easy to swap out. And still, the proof is everywhere. When people work jobs that don't match who they are, their stress shoots way up. A 2022 MBTI study found folks whose jobs clash with their personality are almost 3 times more likely to feel constant stress and burnout, not because they're weak, but because it's the wrong fit. This isn't just stress, it's your spirit breaking down. And if we don't deal with it, no vacation or raise will fix what's falling apart. And here's where it gets even sadder. This soul splitting isn't just a sad part of modern work. It's built right into the way work was set up, because modern jobs weren't made to help you grow. It wasn't built to help you connect, develop, or find yourself. It was carefully designed to get results. Your 9-to-5 misery goes all the way back to the Industrial Revolution. Before that, most people worked with their hands on their own land and saw what they made. But then came factories, machines, and a new problem: how to make people act like machines. That's where Frederick Winslow Taylor comes in. He's called the father of scientific management. Taylor didn't care much about helping people grow. He was obsessed with efficiency. He thought the best worker wasn't the happiest, but the most streamlined. Someone whose every move and second could be tracked, tested, and stretched. Under his system, people stopped being human. They became parts easy to swap, easy to manage, easy to control. And that thinking didn't go away. It just moved from factory floors to office desks. It changed shape. These days, we don't use punch cards anymore. We use KPIs, performance reviews, tracking tools and dashboards instead. Every click, pause, and break is watched not to understand you, but to check how productive you are. Jung might call this the final stage of being disconnected, when what you do has nothing to do with your soul. When work is so far from meaning, it becomes a daily ritual of slowly losing yourself. When you stop asking, "Does this fit who I am?" and only ask, "Will I meet the goal?" your whole self turns into a spreadsheet, and the system praises you for it. It loves what they call culture fit. But really, culture fit usually just means won't cause trouble. It means you won't push back, won't question, won't shake up the system. You'll do your job and wear your mask. And in return, you'll get stability, not joy. But even the stats are showing this system doesn't work. Gallup's 21-23 report says 85% of workers around the world feel checked out or totally disconnected from their jobs. That's not some random thing. That's built in. That's what happens when a system cares more about results than people. And if we don't question how the system's made, we'll keep blaming ourselves for a kind of pain that's not about us, it's about how things are set up. So if today's work life was made without caring about your soul, what happens when you're stuck inside it? You burn out, not because you're lazy or fragile, but because you've been cut off from what humans need most: meaning. Carl Jung said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But most people today are drowning in emails and tasks, but starving for why any of it matters. You chase goals you didn't even pick. You pour energy into routines that feel empty inside. And when you stop to ask, "Why am I doing this?" there's just silence. That silence is the wound. Burnout isn't your personal failure. It's not about needing more hustle or a fancy morning routine. Burnout happens when your soul says, "I'm done." It's your inner self telling you this way of living can't go on. Jung believed if you ignore your true self for too long, another part of you starts to wake up. The shadow. The shadow holds all we hide: the anger, the sadness, the urge to break free. It's all the parts we keep hidden so others won't judge us. But when you fake a life that isn't yours, your shadow won't stay quiet. It seeps out in your tiredness. It screams through your numbness. It messes with your drive, your focus, your relationships. Not because you're broken, but because something deep inside is begging to be heard. That's why burnout feels way bigger than just being tired. It's not just being worn out. It's a deep, soul-level kind of tired. It's waking up and realizing you've been sprinting the wrong way and don't know how to stop. Your body's going through the motions, but your spirit left the building. And now science is proving what Jung said long ago. In 2019, the WHO called burnout a workplace issue, not a disease, but a system reacting to non-stop stress and lack of meaning. Studies in Harvard Business Review show burnout isn't mostly caused by workload. It's mostly tied to not feeling in control, unseen, and lacking purpose. So people don't break because they're doing too much. They break because it doesn't matter. Or worse, it matters to someone else, not them. And the sad part, most won't say a thing. They'll keep showing up smiling, working just getting by, until the shadow steps in and shuts it all down for them. And here's the harshest truth. The system doesn't just drain you, it makes you believe you deserve it. Since childhood, you were told that hard work is good, that pain means you're doing it right, and if you're unhappy, it's your own fault for not trying harder. This isn't just pressure, it's brainwashing. We soak up these silent rules like they're facts. If you're tired, work harder. If you're struggling, stay quiet. If you want better, you better earn it. They say success takes sacrifice, but they never say how much or if it's even worth it. Over time, we believe a harmful lie. Pain means progress. Burnout means success. Suffering means you're good. So when we crack under meaningless work, we don't blame the job, we blame ourselves. Jung warned us about this very thing. He believed today's world was forgetting how to hear the inner voice, gaining stuff, but losing soul. He wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In other words, if you don't face those hidden beliefs, you'll think their damage is just your fate, and it starts young. Think about how we praise kids. We don't reward honesty. We reward following rules. A good kid isn't the one who speaks their mind. It's the one who's quiet, listens, and doesn't stir things up. Over time, we learn that being nice gets us liked, but being real makes us feel alone. That rulebook doesn't change as we grow older. It just shifts. Teachers become bosses. Grades turn into deadlines. The result, by midlife, we're not asking, what do I want? We're asking, why do I feel so lost? A 2021 New York Times survey said 70% of adults feel like they're living a life that doesn't match who they really are, not because they failed, but because they nailed a role never meant for their soul. And when that truth hits, it doesn't feel freeing. It feels like shame. Because we've been taught to feel bad for wanting peace, for needing rest, for hoping for something more human. But here's what no one tells you. Escaping this pain doesn't always mean quitting your job. It means walking back to who you are. The real issue isn't just the job, it's who you've turned into while doing it. You've lost touch with your core self. Jung believed the only way back is through individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming your true self. Individuation isn't pop advice, it's deep soul work. It means peeling off the roles you were told to play and finding the real you underneath. It means you stop letting KPIs or reviews define you and start asking real questions. What do I care about? What do I want to create? What kind of energy do I want to bring to life? This doesn't always mean quitting or starting over. Sometimes it means reshaping your current role to fit your nature and strengths. It means planning your day by your inner pace, not just your to-do list. And most of all, it means guarding what Jung called your sacred space-time, and space that's just yours. That space might start tiny 15 minutes to write a quiet walk, or reading something that touches your soul. It might mean saying no to what drains you, even if it's normal, or making something before scrolling. The goal isn't being perfect, it's being in tune. And it really makes a difference. A Jungian study showed people who practiced individuation felt 40% less depression over time. Not because their jobs changed, but because they did. They stopped letting others shape who they were. They took it back. Even big thinkers need this reset. Like Steve Jobs. When he got kicked out of Apple in 1985, he didn't jump into something new. He stepped back. He found his center again. He explored who he was without the title. And when he returned, it wasn't just new tech, it was vision. He knew himself, and it showed. That's the power of individuation. It's not running away. It's rising up. Not rebellion, reclamation. And that's the only real ground a meaningful life can stand on. But here's the big question. What does a meaningful life really look like? If becoming your true self is the path, what are you leaving behind? For most of us, the answer is simple. A version of success that was never truly theirs. Because over time, success became more about showing off than being real. The right paycheck, title, car, house, followers, praise. We were told that once you check those boxes, you'd feel complete. But lots of people get there and feel nothing like they climbed the wrong ladder. That's the quiet betrayal today's work world doesn't want you to name. That you can win on paper, but still feel empty. That you can hit all the marks and still lose touch with who you are. Because real success, deep, lasting, soulful success, isn't about proving things to others. It's about what you can live with in silence when the applause stops and the mirror shows your truth, not your resume. Real success isn't about being flawless. It's about being in tune with yourself. It's waking up knowing you didn't sell out just to be liked. It's saying, I may not be the most famous, but I'm living a life that feels right to me. In a world hooked on approval, that kind of truth is rare. It means you've stopped acting and started becoming. Jung said, it's life's true privilege becoming who you really are. Not who your parents hope for. Not who your job rewards. Not even who you thought you had to be, but who you were before the world told you who to become. That kind of growth doesn't come with a bonus or a new job title. Sometimes it comes in the calm after saying no, in the clarity of walking away from what looks good but feels off, in the joy of making something totally new just because it's real to you. The truth is, you don't have to be amazing to feel whole. You just need to be honest. And sometimes that's the rarest win, because the world is always trying to turn you into someone else, to measure your worth in stats, to trade your truth for comfort. But real strength, real freedom, real peace, they come from the hardest thing. Being yourself fully in a world that makes money when you forget who you are. And if you've read this far, if a part of you is quietly nodding, hurting waking up, it's because deep down, you know you were never the problem. Your exhaustion isn't failure. Your frustration isn't a flaw. It's awareness. It's awakening the moment your soul starts to speak. There's got to be more than this. Because the truth is, you were never built to fit inside a system made to flatten you, mute you, and use you, only to keep you compliant. You were made to grow, to expand, to evolve, not just outward, but inward too. You were made to question deeper craved meaning and feel what others have shut down. That doesn't make you soft. It makes you alive. So if you felt guilty for not loving your job, for not doing great in a disconnected world, drop that guilt. You're not broken. You're reacting the way a real soul should when it's asked to live a quiet, numb life. That tightness in your chest, that twist in your gut, that's not a flaw. That's your inner voice. And you're not alone. This place, this message, is for people like you who feel deeply, think a lot, and know that just surviving isn't living. Here we dive into the ideas, the questions, the old truths that today's world hides not to run away, but to rebuild from within. So if this touched something real in, you don't scroll past. Subscribe. Stay curious. Stay brave. Because finding your way back to you isn't a one-time thing. It's a whole way of living. And sometimes, just one voice is enough to remind you of what you've always known. The world is loud, but your soul is louder. Thanks for watching. If this spoke to something real inside, you subscribe not for me, but for the part of you that's still searching. Leave a comment below. See you next time.